I'm Ted Berg for SNY.TV, and this is Know Your Enemy presented by Pepsi Max. The Mets head to Philadelphia for a three-game set as the battle for third place in the NL East rages on. Calling in to chat with us about the Phillies is Corey Seidman from PhilliesNation.com and CSNPhilly.com. Corey, how are you?
Good, Ted. How are you?
Good. We usually like to start out with one good thing about the opponent, and the Phillies are playing well lately, winning 7 of their last 9. What's made the difference for them?
Well, it's been a couple factors. There's been health. There's been new blood in the lineup, but mostly it's been the pitching. The Phillies, since the All-Star break for 2017, the main factor in that has been a 3.38 team ERA. They also have new blood. Dominic Brown's been playing the outfield on an everyday basis, and he's been playing very well. Chase Utley and Ryan Howard, it hasn't taken them long to return to form, especially Utley, who's been playing almost every day and playing at a very high level.
Now, you mentioned Utley, Howard, and Brown. And Brown is really the only guy in this lineup who's under 30, who's a regular. John Mayberry as well. How are the Phillies looking moving forward? What do you expect from them next year with so many older players in their lineup? Is this a rebuilding team, or is it a team that's maybe a piece or two away from returning to contention?
It's not a rebuilding team. Ruben Morrow's made that comment a few times during the year. It's a team that is one or two pieces away. It feels it's one or two pieces away from contending again in 2013. You mentioned that Dominic Brown's the only regular who's under 30. The Phillies do have a problem with age, and fans often clamor for the Phillies to get younger. But you have to realize that this is a team that has a lot of money locked up in high-priced talent that is in its prime or has a window closing. So the Phillies need to do what they have to do in free agency through the trade market to improve as much as they can, so that Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, that trio doesn't go to waste.
So you think this is the right way to play it? Sticking with the guys they have and trying to seize this opportunity while they've got it?
Well, I think that the way that they're going right now is the right way to play it. By trading Hunter Pence and Shane Victorino, those were two very important moves for the Phillies that they needed to do to clear up space for Dominic Brown and to replenish a farm system that had just gotten very, very small in recent years in terms of top-heavy talent. When you look at the free agent class this winter, that there are a couple moves the Phillies could make. They definitely need to pick up an outfielder. A lot of people in Philadelphia want Michael Bourne back. But this is the way to play it. There aren't too many ways to acquire guys who are under 25 and very productive, guys who are under 28 and very productive. I think if the Phillies can do that, they'll try. But I think the main focus is on just improving the lineup for next season so that this window doesn't close without the Phillies competing again for another World Series.
Let's talk about the pitchers in this series, a couple of guys who are going to be part of that future. Tonight's starter, Vance Worley, had such a nice breakout year last year. He's sort of come back down to earth this year, especially in his few recent starts. What's going on with him?
Well, Vance Worley's dealing with bone chips in his right elbow. It's a type of injury that isn't getting more painful for him or less painful for him. It's just staying the same. He's said multiple times that he just wants to pitch through it, and he'll have a procedure to clean him out once the season ends. But in his last 10 starts, he's been quite bad. He has a 5.60 ERA, a 1.83 WHIP, just numbers that aren't very impressive for a guy that looked great last year. He's still getting as many strikeouts looking. That's always been Worley's thing. He's pretty deceptive, but just far too many base runners, shaky command. He's coming off of a pretty good outing. He's hoping that he can, put together a string of good outings here, and the first step will be beating a Mets team that's kind of hit him around a little bit in his career.
And Cole Hamels, tomorrow's starter. Another guy the Mets have hit a little bit, but he is awesome.
Yeah, watching Cole Hamels on a start-to-start basis has been one of the few positives for the Phillies this season. The guy's competing for an NL Cy Young where there's really no standout candidate. Hamels is 14-6 with an ERA under 3. He has kind of scuffled against the Mets in his career, but that pitching matchup tomorrow is shaping up to be a great one with Cole Hamels against Matt Harvey, a pitcher the Phillies have never seen. So that's definitely the standout matchup of the series.
And finally, Kyle Kendrick, a guy I know is much reviled among the Phillies fan base, has been really good lately. What's the difference for him?
Yeah, I wrote last week for CSNPhilly.com that Kyle Kendrick has been much better than Phillies fans think. Over the last 2 seasons, he's made 33 starts, and in 22 of those 33 starts, exactly 2/3 of them, he allowed 2 earned runs or fewer. That's a higher percentage of 2 earned runs or fewer than Cole Hamels, than Cliff Lee, than Roy Halladay. So this is a guy who keeps the Phillies in the game more often than not. It's just he's prone to these disastrous starts. But Kyle Kendrick, if you look at the numbers, he's been a valuable 5th starter.
And what can we expect if it gets to the bullpen?
Well, the Phillies' bullpen's been pretty good lately, and the Phillies starters have been going deep into games. But, what you have out of the Phillies' bullpen at the back end right now is they're just trying a bunch of different pieces out. So you might see, a guy come out in the 6th or 7th inning, a starter that you wouldn't see previously. Jeremy Horst, the lefty, has been really good lately. They're also going to try out Josh Lindblom, who they got from the Dodgers in the Shane Victorino trade. So the Phillies are just mixing and matching there, and lately it's been working. On the season, it hasn't been working as a whole, but they're just hoping that these young arms continue to develop for next season.
Corey, thanks so much.
Thank you, Ted.
Remember, for all the latest Mets coverage, be sure to check in at MetsBlog.com, TedQuarters.net, and SNY.TV.